On our first anniversary, my husband stopped the car, threw me off a bridge into the water below, and yelled, "I'm finally free after a year of imprisonment." He thought I couldn't swim, but I listened to everything he said. When he came home from the party at night, he shouted, "Where did my stuff go?" He was shocked to see the strangers. 7 years ago, I'm Aurora, and I was a hopeful adventure guide, dreaming of traveling the world. That dream took an unexpected turn when I met Ethan, a charming and successful man. We fell in love quickly, got married, and I thought I had found my perfect life. Then one evening over dinner, Ethan shared exciting news about a job offer from a prestigious law firm in another city. "It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity," he said with excitement. Although I was happy for him, my heart sank at the thought of leaving my job, but my love for Ethan was stronger. We moved to a spacious house in a new city. Initially, it was an adventure. But as we settled in, a different side of Ethan emerged. One day, he criticized the mess in our half-unpacked living room. "Work faster. I can't live like this," he demanded. I was taken aback, but dismissed it as stress from his new job. As time went on, finding a job for myself became challenging. I mentioned returning to tour guiding, but Ethan dismissed it outright, insisting I focus on managing our home instead. His demeanor became more commanding and dismissive. "Your job is to make everything perfect for me," he declared. I reluctantly agreed, holding back tears, missing the man I married. As months turned into years, my life became a cycle of endless chores and treading lightly around Ethan, whose demands and temper worsened. Suggesting a housekeeper led to an outburst about wasting his money, emphasizing that my place was to be the perfect housewife. I tried to fulfill this role, hoping to rekindle the love we once shared, but Ethan's expectations only grew as his career flourished. Meanwhile, I faded into the background, managing his social media strategist and crafting an image of a successful, happy couple, which was far from the truth. One evening, as I was preparing dinner, Ethan stormed in visibly upset. "Shut up and get my food ready," he snapped. I served him, but he rejected the meal violently and ordered me to clean up the mess. Standing over the broken pieces, I realized how much I had changed and how trapped I felt in a life far from what I had dreamed. I found myself on my knees, gathering the shattered pieces from the floor as tears threatened to spill from my eyes. Holding them back was part of our new routine. The following day, fueled by a determination to improve things, I spent hours cooking Ethan's favorite meal. As I set the table, I was struck with dread upon realizing I had forgotten to buy bread. Just as Ethan entered the room, loosening his tie, he asked, "Where's my food?" "It's coming right up," I replied, quickly serving the soup. However, as he sat down and noticed the missing bread, his temper flared. "Are you this incompetent?" he bellowed, and with a swift motion, he sent the bowl flying off the table. The hot soup splashed across my leg, drawing a sharp cry of pain from me. "God, you're so stupid," Ethan muttered, leaving me alone to manage the pain and the mess. Sobbing quietly as I cleaned up, a stark realization hit me like lightning. How had things gotten so terrible? When had I lost myself to this torment? The next morning, I awoke with a new sense of purpose. "Ethan," I said as he prepared to leave for work, "I can't do this anymore. I want a divorce." He turned with a menacing grin. "A divorce?" He laughed chillingly, sending shivers down my spine. "Listen carefully, Aurora. If you leave me, I'll ruin you. You'll have nothing, no money, no reputation. You'll end up on the streets." His words made my heart skip, but despite his threats, I knew I couldn't continue living in despair. That day was a turning point. Though I lacked the courage to leave immediately, I began to secretly record our conversations, save his abusive messages, and document every incident. If I was to break free, I needed evidence. As I continued my secret documentation, Ethan's career soared. He won a high-profile case and decided to host a celebration at our home, instructing me to prepare everything from scratch. For days, I worked tirelessly cleaning and cooking to ensure everything was perfect for the party. On the night of the event, I was beyond exhausted. Ethan came home early with a bottle of wine and surprisingly offered me a glass. "Here," he said, "you look like you could use this." The wine tasted strange, but I attributed it to my fatigue and barely noticed as Ethan hardly touched his own glass. "Go change. The guests will be arriving soon," he instructed. As I ascended the stairs, a sudden dizziness overcame me. By the time I reached our bedroom, the room was spinning wildly, and I collapsed onto the bed, consciousness slipping away.